Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? It's so good to see you. It's Kirsten Liebelt. Jump on in. Jump on in. Okay. What day is it today? Today is Tuesday. So come on in and enjoy yourself. All right. Every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, I come and I go live and we talk about insulin resistance. And I really do, like, my whole thought process is, how can I help somebody who is 40 and over deal with like their belly fat, their bloating, like tight jeans, all of that kind of stuff. Like, if we can turn everything around through the lens of insulin resistance, this is how we are going to make such a difference. Hold on. I'm going to like set my phone over here. Hold on just a second, 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back. It's so good to see you guys. Okay, today at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, do not forget, we are going to have our day 2 of the challenge. So if you don't know anything about that, let me explain this to you. So first of all, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and I'm in Minnesota, and it's really icy today. It's supposed to snow, but instead we got ice. So there's always that. But every month, for the last 32 months, I think this is our 32nd one, we've done a free 5-day challenge. And this is just a part of what is available to you to be able to actually like chunk out your own success. It's super important to me that somebody gives you like a path to run on, because I didn't have one for myself. I just didn't. I didn't have a path to run on. And, you know, it's fine. You know, I'm not saying that that was so terrible, but it probably just took me so much longer to turn back my own insulin resistance. And if you don't know anything about like my journey at all, I was raised by a type 2 dad who was insulin dependent, and he died at 63. I'm Italian and I have a ton of obesity and type 2 in my family. I was gestational diabetic when I was 22, but because of changing the thought process of insulin resistance, like because of that, I lost 3 sizes in my 50s. Like after my cycle stopped, and it didn't matter my age. My age was not the piece of the puzzle that was holding me back. My metabolism, I mean, yes, but that's such a vague word. My metabolism, through the fact that I was insulin resistant, was the issue, not just like this vague, what's your metabolism? You're just getting older, deal with it, whatever. And so when I began to like figure these things out, and then now I bring it to you, like having a little bit of a path is kind of a win. It's a win for everybody. So good morning, Sue. Good to see you. Lori, good to see you. Good morning from Wisconsin. It's so good to see your name pop up. Patty, good morning, sweet lady. Kathy, good morning. How is everybody doing getting back into their January reset, so to speak? Because I know I've been talking to a lot of you in the back channels of my, universe, like whether it's by texting or messaging, and you're all like, yeah, I'm getting back on track now, because it was a little like, rocky. Some of you did not gain 1 pound during the holidays, and that was like amazing. And you guys were like, this is amazing. But you know what? Remember, it took me 3 to 4 seasons of holidays to really get things figured out. So Shannon, you're here now, doing pretty good. Good to see you. Jody, good morning. Oh, Shannon, you're so funny. I'm on my way. I love that. Well, welcome in, Shannon, darling. Very good to see you. Ruthie, good to see you. Susan, I've been sharing your testimony today, Susan. Oh my gosh. So if you guys didn't hear yesterday, Susan, 66 years old, did her first 90 days on the total body reset and lost 18 pounds. And didn't gain 1 pound during the holiday. Correct me if I'm wrong. Always correct me if I say your story wrong. But didn't gain 1 pound of the holiday. And you know what? We always just assume, don't we? I did. I always assumed that holidays were for gaining weight. I always assumed that was true. Like, why would it be any different than, that? But when you learn how to trade out your food ingredients, it's really not like that. Like, sometimes I do, like I'll push my boundaries or whatever, and I find myself maybe more puffy than usual. And I'm like, I didn't like that, just because my body's gotten so used to not doing stuff. But anyway, so I'm excited about your story, Susan. That's very, very encouraging for so many people. Good morning, Magda, sweet friend. Good to see you. I know Lynn says, oh, wow, go Susan. I know, it's really cool. So what I wanted to do today was remind you, number one, of the challenge. It's day 2 in the group today. We're going to go over food ingredient trade-outs. It's free 99. Every day we go live here Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central. It's free 99. So to support you and encourage you, right? And also anybody who is already like you're already in line with doing the total body reset. Don't forget that if you did not get to take advantage of the January bonus for placing the order in December, you can now do it in January and get the bonus in February. So they announced that. So we have, when you purchase already throughout the year, 150 or more 3 months in a row, you already get $75 off that third month. It's automatic. You don't have to do anything for it. But now, like when you start in January and you do February, they're going to bonus you an extra 50. It's like a New Year's bonus. So if you need information on that, just reach out to me. I'll explain it to you so you don't, a confused mind does nothing. Don't do that. Such a great way to get paid back for your wellness journey and some consistency, you guys. Like, what a great opportunity. And there's a 6-month guarantee on everything. So you really, it's no risk. But anyway, okay. Patty says she'll be there. Hi, Jackie. Good to see you. Very, very good. Susan says, thanks, girls. I love this community. You guys are so awesome. So for all the people that are brandest, newest, or whatever, today what I wanted to do, and actually it's for everybody, but I did want to go over just some basic, like, let's just go over some insulin resistant things again, because I think that it helps you if you're on the front end and you're wondering, well, I don't even know if I am insulin resistant, but it also helps you when you're right in the thick of it. You're right in the middle of the muddy waters of maybe trading out ingredients, and maybe you slipped up over the holidays or whatever, but it's so good to be reminded that your body is just giving you some signs, giving you a little feedback, and you're not a total failure. This is like just biology. So it's not a character flaw, it's biology. And that's so important, because then you can actually keep going and keep moving forward. Like, it's just so important. Okay, so here we go. All right, I have to find my notes. Okay, so as we head into a new year, like here we are, 2026, it's Tuesday, it's January 6th, like, where are you in your head? Where are you in your mindset, right? Like, how are you doing? And it's okay. You can recognize and then shift, recognize and then move on. It's okay. No big deal, right? Some of you are in a really good place. This is exciting. But sometimes women are really definitely thinking like, why is this still so hard for me when I'm trying? Why is this so hard? And we want quick fixes, and I'm with you. I am microwave mentality girl. Like, I understand. I wanted everything to happen fast too, but it didn't take me long to realize that I was turning around a system or systems together. So today I want to talk to you about the signs of insulin resistance that are affecting your real life. Here we go. So it's kind of like, it's not just your day, but it's also your emotions. Okay. So number one, decision fatigue around food. I remember in college, this is going to be like such a silly story, but it really showed me how I had, like, I just didn't even know the food that I liked. I just didn't even know. When I went to college, I was a freshman in college in Moorhead, Minnesota, and Domino's, which is a pizza company, right? They had a special where you could, as a new student, you could get a large pizza for $1.50, a 2-topping pizza for $1.50. How old are we, girls? How old are we? And people would usually either order pepperoni and black olive or sausage and mushroom. Like, this was really common. And I just always remember thinking like, oh, well, I just like everything. I just like all food. That's not true. I really didn't just like all food, but I just was like, I could not make my own decisions about certain things. I don't know if that resonates with anybody. I have not told that story forever. So I don't know why that came to my brain, but maybe there was somebody that just needed to hear that today. So, but sometimes you might think that you're lazy, but because of insulin resistance, it kind of keeps your brain in a constant fuel seeking mode. It's seeking fuel, it's seeking fuel, it's seeking fuel. So you might be standing in the kitchen and you're like, I can't even decide what to eat and I'm overwhelmed. Like, I just don't even know. I just like everything, or I just want nothing, or I just don't even know where to start. And you feel very overwhelmed, right? That can be like metabolic stress. And it's not a lack of discipline. It's just that your brain is seeking fuel and it's kind of on high alert for fuel. Remember, when your sugars rise in your blood all the time, when you're constantly spiking your sugars and therefore you're constantly calling on insulin, what's happening is the insulin is going to get the fuel to take it into your cell. But if your cell is resistant, then you now no longer have the opportunity to feel like you've got energy, feel like you have fuel going on into your body. So now your brain is kind of like, I need fuel, I need fuel, I need energy. And you have this overwhelmed feeling and you're like, I don't know where to start. I don't even know what do I really want? What are the foods that I really want? That's why I always say to you, like, what if you were able to start something where you could actually give yourself space in your mind, give yourself brain space to be able to create a shopping list, actually go to the store, actually make a recipe, actually, and not be so overwhelmed, right? So that's number one. Number two, feeling worse when you try to be good. Feeling worse. So you clean up your diet, you start to like figure out your, like you're trying not to snack every, in between eating every 4 hours, 5 hours, that kind of a thing. You're tamping down your calories because you realize you've been eating 12,000 calories a day and that doesn't help anybody, right? All that stuff. But all of a sudden you kind of maybe feel a little shakier or moodier, or you're more tired. Well, that's insulin resistance and cortisol reacting to kind of that restriction. So it's okay to just understand that, again, this has nothing to do with your character. That has to do with your body trying to get kind of reset a little bit. Okay. And anytime you do a reset like that, and some of you may not even be in this realm at all because you've already done this. Somebody was texting with me yesterday saying, I've already begun. Before I even started the total body reset, I'd already started changing out my foods, or maybe that was on live yesterday. I already started changing out my foods. I've already done some of those steps. I know that's where Terry started. Terry changed out her foods and she was doing a really good job. And then she came across my content and she added in the total body reset. And that's when her body lost 50 pounds and she's kept it off for over a year. So sometimes we start with that. So maybe that doesn't resonate with some of you, but then there are some that are like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. How am I going to like really stick to some of these thought processes about everything that goes in my mouth? Does it raise my sugars? Okay. So that's number two. Sometimes you feel a little worse when you start to go and really clean this life up a little bit. It can be insulin resistance and cortisol. Remember, cortisol is your stress hormone, and it might be reacting to restriction. Okay. Number three, needing constant structure to stay on track. So you only do well when everything is perfectly planned. The moment life happens, it all falls apart. Okay. Well, that is kind of the way that goes. Like, remember, come on, like I said, it took me 3 to 4 Christmas seasons. In between those seasons, I was definitely learning how to navigate a bazillion social settings, a bazillion family gatherings, or you're out celebrating, or your kids come over and whatever, and you've got all of those connections. That's already a given. However, there is a little bit of play in there when it comes to your insulin being unstable. There's a little bit of like instability, and it's just you're still working to try to get balanced a little bit. And the whole point is, if you can bring down your insulin, you can actually get into fat burning mode. But you got to get that insulin down. Insulin is a hormone. You got to get that insulin down, and you have to get your liver functioning, your liver right side. You've got to get your liver functioning up and running so that you can actually burn fat. So those are the two components that I talk about nonstop all the time. Actually, there's three, because I talk about the liver, the gut, and insulin. That's why the total body reset, because it deals with the liver, the gut, and the insulin. Okay, we'll get into that in just a second. But that's what's going on, right? So sometimes not having that structure, it's just like everything literally crashes and burns, and a little bit of a multiple factors going on in there. Carmel, if I didn't follow you for support, I would have given up. Oh, Carmel, you're so sweet. To encourage me to hang in there. Turtle here, over 120 days. I noticed I cleaned my bathroom 3 times in a row without even thinking. Before, I couldn't navigate my day. Thanks to your knowledge, I'm getting better. What you know, you know. When you know. Carmel, that is amazing. So I love how you're talking about such a simple life thing that we have to do, right? Cleaning the bathroom. And now you clean it 3 weeks in a row without even thinking. That tells me that you were having a hard time navigating, which is what you just said. Thanks for sharing that, Carmel, because you're not alone. I had a customer a couple of years ago, and she was able to actually get up and out of her wheelchair and start walking to the mailbox, because we started getting her body under control, right? So I'm just telling you, those things, when you don't have function or when it hurts to function a lot, man, it feels so good to be able to do it. And so anyway, thanks for sharing that, Carmel. That's amazing. I love that. Okay, the next one is feeling emotionally flat or unmotivated. Oh, that's not any of us, is it? Okay, not sad, not depressed, just like dull. Okay, I don't feel excited about things that I used to enjoy. Well, insulin resistance, this is very interesting and probably something that not a lot of people talk about. But insulin resistance actually affects dopamine signaling in your brain. So for somebody who is like, oh, I just didn't even realize that I wasn't maybe living in total technicolor, it's because of insulin resistance sometimes. Who knew that? Who knew that it affects the dopamine signaling in your brain? Oh, the more you know, right? It really, really helps. Number 5, feet feeling swollen or uncomfortable by the evening. This is super common as a symptom. You wake up okay, but by night you feel very heavy, tight, or bloated, and it's like everywhere. It's like, oh, you just don't feel good, right? Well, maybe you feel like you've gained 10 pounds by like 7 p.m. And you know, like in your brain, like that's not true. That's not how this works. But you feel that way, right? That's inflammation. That's inflammation. Insulin-driven fluid retention. My dad had so much fluid. You know, he was constantly taking Lasix to get the fluid off of his heart and to get the inflammation down, because high insulin equals high inflammation. And you feel it throughout your whole body. And it's very frustrating. I know we focus a lot on the whole trunk area of your fat because we're talking about visceral fat most of the time, but your whole body feels the inflammation, all of it. And it's a lot, right? It's a lot. Okay. And then number 6, your body feels reactive. Another sign of insulin resistance. Food bothers you. Exercise wipes you out. Stress hits harder than it used to. Why does everything feel like too much now? Such a sign of insulin resistance. That's a metabolically stressed system. That can be turned around. It does not have to be like, oh, that's aging. That's normal. No. Because if that were true, then when you turn back your insulin resistance, why do you gain energy and feel so good? Right? I mean, I wake up and I don't ache. That's amazing. Now, I do go to the chiropractor every 2 weeks, and I do like to get my neck adjusted. But I have a feeling that has to do with my social media use. I'm just saying. Things like that. But otherwise, I don't ache like I used to ache. I've said it before, so the line that I talk about that the total body reset comes out of, it has a joint health supplement. And I used to take it all the time because I ached so badly when I was a 2X in size. I just ached. So I would take it. It's a glucosamine product. It's phenomenal. It has a proprietary anti-inflammatory blend. And I took it all the time, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. I haven't taken that for years. You don't have to keep taking certain things when you start to fix certain things, whether it's a script or a supplement. Does that make sense? And then the last one, you don't trust your hunger cues anymore. This is definitely something that I know when I began to become a better assessor of my life, and I actually started asking myself questions, this really helped to shift things. Because you may recognize, oh, I'm not hungry, but I'm going to eat anyway. Come on, we all do this, right? Because maybe you're stressed, you're happy, you're sad, you're having a snuggle in moment with a movie, you have a default of eating at a certain time of the day or whatever it is. Like, we all know what this is like, but our hunger cues are super off. And that can be such an insulin resistance symptom. So you don't know if you're hungry, bored, tired, or emotional. Everything feels like super blurred. Has anybody ever experienced that one? I don't even know what my body needs anymore. That is insulin resistance disrupting hunger hormones like leptin and ghrelin. So you are not, your hunger hormone is not helping you to tell you when you're full. Your satiety is off. Like you're eating and eating, but you're not feeling satiated. These are all kind of pieces of that. And it's because this is a hormonal conversation. We talk about this a lot in the group when we do the challenge, because the truth is that you think that you are just hungry. You wonder why you're hungry all the time. You wonder why different programs haven't worked before, because maybe that program is so focused on calorie in, calorie out. And the truth is that this is a hormonal conversation. It's not a calorie in, calorie out conversation, even though calories are like one of, a bazillion, factors here. I shouldn't say bazillion, that's not true. But most of this is all hormonal. Insulin is a hormone, leptin is a hormone, ghrelin is a hormone, cortisol is a hormone, GLP-1 is a hormone. Do y'all know that? You make your own GLP-1, you don't actually have to buy it. You just have to get your body to produce it again. It stopped producing. Why? Right? That's the gut conversation, okay? So these are not symptoms that show up on your lab work. They just don't. They don't show up when you go to the doctor. They show up in your life. And you're like, what's wrong with me? That was me anyway. Doctors are trained to read numbers, treat disease, and wait for thresholds. This is why you guys say to me all the time, I just went to the doctor and they said, oh my gosh, all of a sudden, out of the blue, you're pre-diabetic. We have no idea. They wait for that threshold. They wait. The whole cholesterol, oh, here's a statin. The whole sugar, oh, here's metformin. The whole, they wait for the threshold, right? They are not trained to decode patterns. So I hope that you can start to see some of the patterns, and they show up 5, 10 years way before your blood sugar rises. Common, super common in your late 30s, your early 40s. It worsens during perimenopause, like super normal. Accelerated by dieting, stress, poor sleep. These are all factors, right? This could have been addressed years earlier. So let's just run through those 7 one more time. Decision fatigue around food, feeling worse when you try to be good, needing constant structure to stay on track, feeling emotionally flat or unmotivated, feeling swollen or uncomfortable by evening, your body feels reactive, and you don't trust your hunger cues anymore. But when you start to turn things around, because these are not permanent, these are just signals. They're not permanent, okay? Your food noise will quiet. Your energy will stabilize. Your hunger makes sense again. Your body stops fighting you. And this is why we talk about liver, gut, and insulin, because you can literally target your supplementation to get your body to produce a different result. Like, wouldn't that feel nice? It's like if your body right now is delivering you the result of those signs where you just don't even know whether you're coming or going. You're just starving all the time. You're just always hungry. You're so fatigued. Your energy is like whatever. Your motivation is out the window. You're just like, oh, you just feel like trash. Well, when you turn it back around, all of these things shift, right? That's how exciting it gets. It's like amazing. Good morning, Terry. Patty says grieving. I would assume that you mean as like a reason to eat. Yeah, for sure. That's why in the Italian family, if you could only choose to go to the wake the night before or the actual funeral, you always have to go to the funeral because the food is after the funeral. That is how we grieve in the Italian family. That's why I drink a few ounces of tart cherry juice in the evenings. Oh, I have not looked at the nutrition labels on that. Interesting. It helps the body make its own melatonin. Very cool. Marla, truth. Now you don't wake in the middle of the night. That's fantastic. Yes, love knowing this is not permanent. It's not permanent. You know, we would not be having this conversation if we were talking about cancer, right? You understand that. That's a different realm, right? Then they might need like a team of docs. They might need a lot of different resources. They need maybe a lot of strategy, whatever. This is not that, you guys. That's why it just ticks me off that we're not told these things. This is a simple conversation. It's very streamlined. And you have absolutely nothing to lose by getting your body to deliver you a different result. You have only everything to gain. There are no side effects to eating better for your blood sugars and getting your insulin to come down and supplementing so that your body's liver, gut, and insulin can like line up. Like straighten up and fly. Is it straighten up and fly? No. What is that? What is the saying, you guys? Straighten up and fly, right? No. Something up and fly straight. It's one of those. You guys are always really good at helping me with that. I'm going to take some water and then I'm going to go over the total body reset. Because I said in my stories today, listen, if I do not go over this in my head, this is me now. If I do not tell people every single day the opportunity that they have to shift the way that their body is functioning, then people like Susan don't tell me, oh my gosh, I'm 66 years old and I just lost 18 pounds in 90 days. And my doctor's happy about it. I don't have people telling me all the scripts that they get off of or the fact that they had diarrhea all the time because of short gut syndrome and they don't anymore. Do you know how that changes somebody's life? Do you know what a big deal that is? It's a really big deal. When you start to feel like you have control back in your life again, it's giving back people literally their future memories that they're going to get to make. So I'm going to talk to you about it. Lynn says she heard it. Oh, straighten up and fly right. Thank you, Lynn. She said she heard it all the time. Little insight into Lynn's childhood. Straighten up and fly right. Thank you. I like that. This is not permanent. If we choose to make the necessary changes, it only worsens if we stay on the same course. 100% Marla. If you don't change anything, nothing will change. That's just the way that goes. Denise, hearing that is not permanent also is a wonderful feeling. Amen. It's not permanent, you guys. Listen, I'm not a doctor, so technically, like, I'm not supposed to be able to say that everything is reversible when it comes to insulin resistance. Fine. Then go listen to Dr. Ken Berry. Go listen to Dr. Eric Berg. Go listen to Dr. Kiltz. Go listen to Dr. Philip Ovadia. Go listen to, like, how many more people do you want to find out that this was never meant to be, number one, a terminal diagnosis? Like, this is stupid. Stupid that my dad died at 63 because of type 2 diabetes. That's dumb. We don't have to live in that world anymore where they go, oh, well, like, what are we doing? We're now here. He's been gone for 30 years. We're still doing the same stuff. It's really stupid. So the fact that they won't tell us on a poster on the waiting room wall that insulin resistance is 100% reversible, I will say it, and then I'll just give you third-party resources. So the total body reset, I did not want to trade out my foods. This was a really big deal for me as an Italian girl. So I started supplementing first instead, and then I started sharing it locally, and then I came online and I started sharing it with y'all 2.5 years ago. That's why the challenge is 2.5 years old, because I went, okay, I'm going to start a challenge and see what happens. I'm going to start a group, a Facebook group, just start talking about it and see what happens. Well, there you go. Now you know. It's crazy. So you can get in the group and you can get into the challenge today. It's free. You don't even have to sign up for it, but you give your email to get in the group. It's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. There, I'm going to put it right there. And then it'll be at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So it's coming up. So when we're off of here, I'll get ready to go there. There you go. And you can just join in, and then the replays will go up into the featured section, okay? We will do a deep dive into supplementation way beyond what I'm about to show you. Okay, so for those of you that need more clear understanding. But this is where I started with these three little pills. I call these the trio. This one helps you with your insulin and your sugars, and you take it 3 times a day. And this is where you bring down that insulin and you can start to burn fat again. It's a really big deal. So 3 times a day, this is the capsule. The 2 tablets, the yellow one is for your liver. The little tiny white one is for your metabolism. So twice a day, and then 3 times a day. This is the trio. This is where I started. This is it. And I started sharing this locally. And this is when I had people say to me things like, I need to order some more of those diabetes pills. And I'm like, what? And that's when I kind of started to really research and find out what was going on. Why was this working in my body? Why was I losing weight, etc. Okay. Then number 4, because there's 6 pieces. The 4th piece is a powder, and it's a green powder that has the greens are already fermented. There's digestive enzymes, pre and postbiotic, like all of your alkaline spices, your fiber from fruits and vegetable concentrates, all off of organic farms. Like, it's the best of the best of the best. I'm not going to lie. Like, this is me. I do not want a green of any kind that is sprayed with glyphosate. Not interested. So I want things to be off of organic farms. Anyway, tastes like green tea. Not my favorite, but it doesn't matter to me anymore. I've now used this for so much. I don't travel without it. I put it into my glass jars. I double down when I travel because I can tend to travel a lot. And I'm like, not interested. So I'll put it in about this much cold water and froth it up with my frother. And like, you could do ice water. If you don't like green tea like me, you could add lemon juice. You could add cinnamon to it. You can heat it because it does not have a probiotic in it. So it's very stable. You could put it in your soup. You could sip it like a tea. Blur, blur, blur. Like, you can do different things like that. I'm a function. Like, if there was a love language called function, that's me. I'm just a function person. Just get it done, figure it out, froth it up, take it like a wellness shot, just like you buy a wellness shot at your local, whatever, Whole Food store or whatever. This is my wellness shot. Okay. Then the 5th piece is the probiotic. Now, these are alive. The strains are alive. So you don't want to heat your probiotic. You don't want to take this and then drink hot coffee. You don't want to sprinkle this on hot food. You could sprinkle it on cold food. You can put it right on your tongue, but these are 5 live strains that have technologies that help to stick to your gut and to stay alive, to do their job. Really, really important. So that's how these 2 really make a great gut reset all by themselves. And then the last one is the orange pixie stick. Now, it tastes like orange candy. It's great. You put it on your tongue. The really coolest of all pieces is the fact that this was developed for a sports nutrition line, very specifically with the expectation, with the claim, not from me. And you got to be careful with your claim. You cannot, if you even knew how regulated the industry is in terms of, I shouldn't say that. How do I say that? It's not regulated in terms of, if they're not third-party tested, they can put whatever they want in there. So if you buy something off of a drugstore or whatever, it's not regulated. They are regulated. It's not my word. What's my word? They are there's a lot of hawk eyes on them. There's a lot of, they're waiting for you to mess up thought process. This is just me. Nobody said this to me, but it's you, unless you want to totally trash your brand, you will never make a claim that you cannot prove with scientific study background. So they studied this for over a year, which is very unusual, very unusual. Most companies will study something for maybe, if they even do it, for 30 or 60 days. Okay, so this is over a year. It's a thermogenic. So it literally goes in and it targets your fat cells that are right here in your trunk area, which is that visceral fat. It's the fat that gets laid down because when insulin is high all the time and it goes to take your sugar, the fuel, and it tries to get it into your cell, and your cell is resistant to insulin, that insulin is a fat storing hormone. So it's going to take all that energy and it's going to lay it down around your organs and your intestines. And now you have things like fatty liver. And listen, that's not exciting. We're not going in exciting directions with type 2 that's uncontrolled, or with fatty liver, or with, listen, I watched my dad do it all. He did it all until, it was all the heart surgeries. It was the pacemaker. It was the kidney dialysis. He did all of it. And that's the fallout of this not getting turned around. This is why I'm so passionate about this. Or you end up with, like my mama, with dementia. That's another conversation for another day. But this is a thermogenic. It is literally a fat burner. They don't call it that way. They basically just says that it does target your visceral fat. They don't say burner, but the reason why there's a little flame on here probably tells you what it's going to do. I recommend to you guys, go 90 days on, take 30 days off. I'm on my 30 days off right now. It's January. And then I'll go 90 days again. And so just on your tongue, tastes like candy. It's amazing. You can take it before a workout if you work out, or just whenever you want. There's no caffeine. There's no jittery, nothing like that. So it doesn't matter when you take it. So those 6 pieces are the total body reset. And anybody who is wanting or thinking, like you've been watching for a while and you want to have results like these other women that I talk about nonstop, you can just reach out to me. Go to my site. Go to KirstenLiebelt.com and text me. Hold on, I'm going to put that on there. There's my site. It's KirstenLiebelt.com. At the very bottom, go one swipe up to the very bottom. You'll see a Facebook icon, so you can get into the Facebook group if you want to. Just give your email, tell them Kirsten sent you. There's a messenger little icon. You can click on that and hit me up in Messenger. There's a phone number there where you could text me and talk to me. I wake up and I'll have texts in my box. And this is how it is. You can like screenshot that and then flip that around in your camera if you're on Instagram, but everybody else, it's right there. Okay. So if you have questions on the total body reset, ask me. Or if you just want to go look at it, go to my site and look at the buttons at the top. You'll see some testimonies. You'll see me. I have a 9-minute video on there for somebody who's like a real seeker of, you want to sit down and you want to process what I'm saying. I did 9 minutes of what I just did. I did that slower with a little more understanding so that you can like wrap your brain around it. Okay. And then on Thursday in the group, when we do the supplementation day, which is such a great day, I'm able to then talk to you about supplements that match up with some of the other follow. Like, how can we help your sleep? How can we help your inflammation on a different level? How can we like help you to transition your foods just a little more easily in the season? Those types of things I can talk to you about and go a little deeper in on Thursday. We do that once a month. So, all right, hold on. Let me see here. Okay, I think I can tell that I missed a comment. I hate that. I'll see it when I get off. But Lynn is saying, Jackie, you are such a great friend. You guys, you call each other friends and we're all a bunch of strangers. But I would hug you like there's no tomorrow if I could meet you. I can tell I need to go to Tennessee because there's a couple people in Tennessee I need to meet. I love Tennessee. So you guys I missed something, but that's okay. Peggy, at Orlando, Florida, with my family, surrounded by my kryptonite. But I brought my Kirsten power. Oh, Peggy. Tell me what your kryptonite is, Peggy. What is it for you? Because I know what it is for me. I know, the holidays too. Like I took a little bite of this here and there. I did a few. I just don't let it take me into binging. But it took me a while to get there. But I would love to know what it is, your Kirsten power. Listen, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So we do things without shame, but we also recognize that we don't have to give up our full day. I was like the queen of, you literally sabotage yourself early enough in the day because then you can like eat off plan for an entire day. Like it's so silly, but that's what we do sometimes in our head. And so it's just learning a few skills, having a few tools in your toolbox so that you can do that less. And then you just live without shame. So sweets, bread, and cereal. That's me, Peggy. That was me. Oh boy, I could eat cereal. Oh, in fact, the other day, I don't know if across the country you guys have a store called Fleet Farm. Don't worry about it if you don't. But they have a lot of bulk nuts and foods in general. So I was picking up bulk saltwater taffy for this baby shower that I was putting on. So it was saltwater taffy, and then I bought bulk. What else was it? It doesn't matter. Oh, like Dove chocolates, whatever. But they had bulk sponge candy, if you don't know what that is. Oh man, I was like, I should probably not buy that because I would sit down and eat a whole bag of that. I'm not going to do that. So, but what I did see was a bag of the marshmallow crunches that come out of Lucky Charms, just the marshmallow crunches. And I pointed them out to my husband. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at what they've got. Like I would totally sit down and eat that entire bag of marshmallow crunches because I'm a sweets person too, like that. And cereal, yep, I get it. So I just shifted those types of things. And you know what I do? I'll just give you a little tip before I jump off here today, because I do have to go get ready for our little 1 o'clock meeting. But now what I do is I do things that are different. I'll take like nuts, like pecans or walnuts. And I don't eat nuts all the time because I will overeat on nuts. And then either I start gaining weight again or I stall out my weight loss, like for sure. So I'm very careful about that, or I choose to be careful. Anyway, but I'll take some nuts and then I will take like coconut oil and melt a little coconut oil with a little bit of sweetener, with a little bit of vanilla, possibly with a little bit of cocoa powder if I'm in the mood for chocolate. And I'll melt all that together like in the microwave, and I'll add the nuts and I'll coat them and I'll lay them out on parchment paper and put them in the freezer. And that is a really good fast snack. And coconut oil is firm at, just like butter, it's firm at room temperature. So you could just put it in the refrigerator and be fine. I just like things cold like that. But anyway, you can then you've got just a little portion of something that is sweet. It's kind of almost like having immediate candy. I'm just telling you. Saltwater taffy was your mom's favorite candy. Yup. Patty says yum. Yes. Yeah, I like saltwater taffy, but it's not my kryptonite. But I will say that my mom, one of the things that they have at that Fleet Farm place I was telling you about, they have burnt peanuts. And my mother used to eat burnt peanuts all the time. She would eat them in bed while she read. These are the memories. Burnt peanuts. And I was like, oh my gosh, you see that old fashioned candy? And I'm like, it's crazy that they'll still make it and sell it like that. But that was never my jam, so I don't worry about it. But she also loved the little the maple nut, not the nut goodies. I love the nut goodies. But the little maple, they are kind of like maple nut little rounds. And she ate those all the time. So I'm just telling you, yours is pasta, Susan. Pasta is a challenging one. So now with pasta, and again, it's so funny I'm talking about this because like we're going to talk about some of this in the group today. For pasta, I like to focus on what is it that I'm actually wanting. So like, for instance, I made a big batch of homemade sauce for Christmas and I made lasagna out of it, right? And I don't make homemade sauce a lot, But anyway, but when I do, it's really like I love it, right? And I'm like, oh man, I'd love to put this on pasta. But instead, what I'll do is I'll think in terms of like, okay, well, chicken cacciatore does not have pasta in it. So chicken cacciatore is a really good option to be able to turn into something that has some of that sauce on it. And you're still eating Italian, but without the pasta. So that's kind of where my brain goes. But yeah, I know. Uh-huh. And I would eat just pasta with butter and Parmesan, salt, pepper, garlic powder. To me, that's comfort food, you know? So anyway, your dad loves nuts so much, especially pecans. Yep. Yep. You love nuts and you think you would try your nut snack recipe. It's great, Shannon. Yeah. I just make stuff up. Maybe I should make a little cookbook about stuff I make up. My creative, just make up stuff. Anyway, okay. All right, I'm going to jump off. If anybody needs information on the Total Body Reset, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. And let's get your January started the way you need to get it started so you can get your $50 bonus in February, your $75 bonus in March. Like, you literally can get paid back for your own wellness journey and then feel like you have a little bit more control, even if you're around your kryptonite, like Peggy, even if you're around there. Shannon, yes, share your food ideas. I don't even think about them because I think sometimes I'm just so weird. So I'll have to really think about it. I just consider myself like, okay, I'll tell you this one and then I'll go. I like to make my egg white protein bread. And then because I have talked about this. I actually don't put any allulose in it. And this is for another conversation because some of you don't even know what I'm talking about, and that's okay. But I don't put any allulose in it because I don't like the way the allulose, I don't like how it makes my tummy gurgle a little bit. I don't like that. So I don't put any sweetener in there at all. But then it makes it more like a saltine in its flavor. So I'll cut off the top of my bread. And some of you, like literally most of you do not know what I'm talking about. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I'll cut off the top because it's super crunchy and falling apart and put some butter and then I'll eat that. To me, that makes me happy. That's like a replacement of butter and saltines for me, right? Because I grew up that way. My mother was 100% Swedish. So we ate a copious amount of butter and saltines, thinking that this was normal. You would take an entire sleeve of saltines and butter and just sit and eat like that was normal. And you didn't think anything of it because why would you? You know, right? So we all have these really weird things that we did as a child that we're just trying to recreate now. And so you have to ask yourself, what is it that you would want to recreate? And then you start to just get creative around it. So I'm just saying. Anyway, all right. Have the best day ever on the face of the planet. I will see you tomorrow here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to get into the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, just put your email in, say Kirsten sent you, jump on in, and we will be live in 1 hour and 11 minutes. So I'll see you there. Love you guys. Have such a good Tuesday.